Hi, I'm Meredith Bell. In this video, you'll learn the 4 main things you need to do as a leader to get the best from your team. It's an excerpt from an interview I conducted with Denny Coates, the creator of ProStar Coach. Denny, we both know that one of the big challenges organizations of all size face is the problem with people being effective leaders. But before we explore what it takes to be an effective leader, can you define what it is? What is leadership?
Okay. Well, one way to start is to differentiate between management and leadership. In an organization where you have people who lead, they don't call them leaders. They call them managers and executives. But they're really doing 2 things. They're managing and leading, and they're not the same thing. One brief way to talk about that is to say that you manage the things and you lead people. There are a lot of things to be managed. It's quite an area of competence,
Yes.
but it's not the same thing as leadership. So effective leadership is something else. Another thing that you have to sort of nail down initially to define leadership is to acknowledge that it's not just something that executives do. A lot of times when you read books about leadership, it's always about the executives and all these grand things that they're doing. Very few books, for example, focus on first-line leadership, which is foremen and supervisors and section chiefs, these managers. They're leaders too, because it involves a lot of things they have to do with people. And I think doing is really a key word in this, because it's really not who you are, it's what you do. It's what you visibly do with people. That's what matters. And well, what do you do? That's what does an effective leader do? Well, there are 4 broad areas, and one of them is that you develop the people that you're in charge of. You want to get the best from them, and so over time you want them to get better. And so really that's really your responsibility, and that happens day by day through various means. So you develop them. And the other thing is you inspire them so that they want to do it. They know how, but do they want to? And so they'll have their own reasons to perform at a high level.
When you say the word inspire, though, some people might think that that's, getting up and rah-rah. What do you mean when you say inspire?
I mean finding out who they are and what's important to them and what their values are, really getting to know your people, so that when you interact with them and you talk about where they're going, you can use their values and what inspires them by the way you deal with them, because you know who they are, and through your own example, and through painting a vision. There are a lot of things that you do. You may have a vision, but it's communicating the vision. The third thing is simply supporting them. And the way you support them is with all the things, authority and guidance and boundaries and supplies and transportation and communication and information and on and on. And these are things within the organization that they don't have access to until you give it to them, because you're in the management chain. You empower them when you support them with all these things. And the fourth thing is encouragement, because work is just not easy. It's fast-paced. You have to deal with customers, shortages, barriers, roadblocks, problems, even failures, surprises. So there are these kinds of challenges and adversity, and so they have to work through it in order to work at their best. Well, you can help them by encouraging them before it happens, and even while it's happening. And so I think through these ways, these are the broad areas of what a leader actually does.
Okay, so in summary, we have first developing them so they're stronger and able to get their work done. They are who they need to be in terms of skills and capabilities. You inspire them so they want to do the work. and you support them so they can do the work and they have what they need, and then you encourage them along the way so they don't get
they don't
discouraged,
quit.
right, and give up.
Right.
Those are four key
And
elements.
those are broad areas, and in those broad areas are a lot of things that we call people skills. So I think that's really what it means to be an effective leader.
Okay, thank you.
We'd like you to have 2 free leadership ebooks that are packed with insights to help you deal with challenges you face every day. Strong for Leadership and Coach the People You Care About. Get your free ebooks at prostarcoach.com.